Hello, this is Steve, Dichroic Glassman. Picking up where we left off on the panel. Again, we're going to take our zinc, which comes in straight strips, and create a curved one in order to go around a 31-inch diameter panel. Perfectly round panel. Made, by the way, by utilizing the Genesis glass system that I've invented years ago. Just incorporates circles, lines, tangents, squares, yada yada. But that's proof of how easy it works and having a consistency and incredible accuracy. I don't have to grind much. I've got fairly good solder lines, but a lot of it is attributed to the accuracy that the Genesis system affords. It's a way of thinking. I can't show you how to draw a butterfly. By the way, you see a common denominator in most of my windows, and it's all about design or symmetry. I haven't done any abstracts in a while. That's an abstract. But more about symmetry. I love symmetry, and yet at the other end of the yardstick, I love abstract. And I'll be doing an abstract series coming up soon for the mellow mushroom, in fact. So more panels in the continuation of the mellow mushroom project. So let's get into this. I'm going to have to move the camera around several times because of the curvature. And I also, it has two screw holes. Put one screw hole down here on the other side, screw into the hole on the other side, so I can manipulate this for you guys, for the camera, and trying to dodge the camera legs and all that business. So what you're going to have to do is, you can see, you got to get it off to the edge. And I don't know if this is going to cooperate, but we got the cordless here on hand. Might have to just roll it back and crank it, but let's begin the process. Stop the talk. Okay, I'm going to open this up and relax off at my other end. I've got to relax the zinc. Okay, it's starting to curve. In fact, it's curving fairly well already. So let me back my camera up. Pretty radical jump. Curve is pretty good already. Dang. Pretty good way to start. Because of 31 inch, 6 foot's not going to fit. I don't care about the circumference. I'm just going to do 2 pieces of zinc, was the point. Look at this curvature already. That's pretty wild. Oops, let's see. Look at that curvature already. That's just one single pass. So I'm going to do the next piece, which is a shorter straight one. Always keep your zinc. I keep all my zinc. I keep it in a tray. So many times I've gone to that tray and it was the exact amount I needed, or it was enough, ample enough to finish the project. You can always add on the zinc. I'm not even turning the crank. This is pushing really nicely because I've got the strength to do it. Not everybody feels confident to do that. And if you're not paying attention, like what I just did here, you're going to let it slide off. So I better pay attention. Okay, I got one extremely curved piece, the shorter radius, and I'm going to run it through again. And I'm going to, here you go. That was just me. Okay. It's good sometimes to run it through the second time. Now, sometimes it's going to curl up on you. And you're going to feel this is getting out of hand on me. And all you got to do is, remember, press that down. Once you press that down, it takes the tension. What it's doing a compound angle. It's bending, but now all of a sudden it's going up and bending at the same time. That would be a compound angle. It's not only bending this way, but it's also, in addition, trying to lift. So that's about all you got to do is squeeze this together, and for the most part, that brings that right back down and brings that curve within that realistic range. But see, the shorter one still has a tighter radius. Kind of funny. The longer one has more room to, who knows, to absorb that. So I've got to do this one more time, obviously in the long one, because I'm nowhere near a 31 inch. So I'm going to flip this up. Let's see if flipped up the lever a quarter of a turn. Still so easy to move that I'm not even needing to crank the handle. This bigger one is taking more passes than the smaller one did. Okay, now I'm going to come down. There we go. Starting to curve pretty good now. So, just like in the previous video, you're going to have to take enough passes to determine that okay, I'm coming up to my half quarter turn. And I'm doing that in increments, folks, because it takes the pressure off of trying to accomplish too much at one time. You know that old adage, son, you need to take your time. Well, this takes a lot of stress off of the metal that wasn't made to necessarily curve around this way. We're adapting it to suit our needs, and our needs are to encompass a large panel, a 31-inch. Dang, that's 34. That must be 35. It looks a lot bigger. Of course, this one's a little bit closer to me. So, we've accomplished pretty well, but my curved piece, as you can see, isn't going to align itself when I flip this up. So, you get the idea. I'm going to have to go through the motions to get this thing as tight as possible. I did 2 pieces. Actually, I've got 3. And that may be all I lack. Although I think it's going to be a little bit more than that. So that's why I ran 2 pieces at the same time. It's always good to do that. And you can always hang it, excuse me, on a nail on the wall or what have you. You're going to have to steel wool the zinc to bring it back to life. This is a very important aspect of this process, folks, is keep this shiny. If not now, especially when you attach it, because you're not going to be able to take a tarnished piece and try to solder it to a brand new soldered panel. It ain't going to work. This oxidation is going to fight you. So you need to have, if your stuff is new, great, don't listen to this part of the video. If your stuff's been sitting in a thing and it's got a little oxidation on it, don't fret, just steel wool it off. This piece has been used on my soldering iron, otherwise it looks pretty ratty. So just steel wool it off. If you've got a Dremel, a little wire brush that you put on your cordless drill or what have you, whatever method you have to use your Boro SOS pad type of mentality and get that nice and shiny. That way it'll marry up really well with your brand new fresh solder. And that's what we want. We want that compatibility instantly, because we want to rely on a really good bond to an otherwise very weak shape. A circle is a very weak shape on itself, one-dimensional plane. The only point it gets any strength, like a basketball, is wherever it hits the basketball floor. It's kind of a wild thing to think just a pinpoint of a whole basketball, the whole earth, the whole globe kind of look, can rest at one point. It's weird. But this is flat, one dimension. Very weak shape if we don't strengthen it up somehow. My design, the strength in the corners, kept this piece from folding on these straight lines. Otherwise, all the time, I question my panels to make sure that they're built. There's no strengtheners. Haven't used a strengthener in over 5 years. I don't use rebar, and I make giant windows, and I've never repaired them in, I don't know, 10, 15 years. I haven't been making these for... My spiritual series began after my head-on car accident, where my whole life changed, my whole consciousness changed. That walk-in experience in June of 2006. It was a life-threatening car accident, head-on, folks. Sometimes it takes that for us to wake up. I can't claim to have known anything prior to that, and I certainly ain't claiming anything now at this time of my life. However, with a birthday just last month. That's 60. But I purpose to share what I see, to share what I feel, getting more emotional and passionate in my videos, and I want to do that. Because it's a very passionate life we live. Basically, the idea is we learn by emotions more than we learn by fact, by logic. Logic tells us 2 + 2, don't jump over there, you could get hurt. Yeah, theory creates the whole scenario. That's a whole lot different. Anyway, thanks for watching my series as always. I'm going to go through the methods finishing up the curve to match it with the panel. Then the next video, I will solder it on there and again talk us along the way. And then there's many steps. So a lot to do yet before this panel gets to its final destination of what it's going to be for. And then we'll talk about that when we get it cleaned. It's going to surprise you. This window wasn't made, this panel was not made to hang in a window. I will be making it again so that it does go into this window. So I'll give you a sneak preview. The reason why. This glass is black. Black water glass. This beautiful glass, it's called Van Gogh. One of the go-to glasses in the mosaic industry. Why in the world would I put black glass and a glass that has black on the back of it in a stained glass panel, you might ask? Well, for one effect. And you'll see as the series continues on. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.